Welcome back, everybody. Today we're doing a deep dive into something that I know a lot of you are interested in, and that's natural ways to reduce stress and anxiety.
Oh, yeah.
And we've got a fantastic source lined up called Natural Stress and Anxiety Reduction Techniques. And it's packed with 10 scientifically proven methods.
Wow, 10.
Yeah, 10. And I think you might be surprised by how simple yet powerful some of these techniques are.
Yeah, I think a lot of times we think about these complex things we have to do, and it's really not.
Right, exactly.
It's the simple stuff we forget about.
Yeah. And what's so cool about these is these techniques, they really empower you to take control of your own stress response.
Yeah.
So you're not just like masking the symptoms, you're actually getting to the root of the issue.
I love that.
Yeah. So, okay, let's just dive in.
Okay.
First up is something you're doing right now without even thinking about it.
Okay.
Breathing.
Breathing. Okay.
But we're talking about deep conscious breathing.
Oh, deep breathing.
Yeah.
So is this like when you're stressed and your body goes into fight or flight mode?
Yes, exactly. So when you're stressed, your body, it releases this hormone called cortisol.
Cortisol.
Yeah, it's like your body's alarm system.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, something's wrong, something's going on, we need to be ready.
Right.
Right. But if that alarm keeps ringing and ringing and ringing, it starts to cause problems.
Makes sense.
Right. And deep breathing, especially diaphragmatic breathing, it's like hitting the pause button on that stress response.
I like that.
Yeah.
Hitting the pause button. So it's not just about calming down, it's about actually like changing what's happening in your body.
Exactly. It's like a physiological change.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so with diaphragmatic breathing, you're activating the parasympathetic nervous system, which is your body's relaxation response.
Okay.
And your heart rate slows, your muscles relax, and you create this sense of calm.
Okay, so walk me through like how to actually do this diaphragmatic breathing, because I want to make sure I'm doing it right.
Yeah, no, it's simpler than you think. So find a comfortable position, sitting or lying down.
Okay.
Inhale deeply through your nose for a count of 4.
Inhale through the nose.
Yes, and as you do that, feel your belly expand, not just your chest.
Okay.
So you want to really breathe deep into your belly.
Okay, deep into the belly.
Then hold that breath for another count of 4.
Hold it.
And then exhale slowly through your mouth for a count of 6.
Exhale longer.
Yes, longer exhale. And you repeat that for 5 to 10 minutes.
I'm feeling more relaxed already just thinking about it.
Me too. And the best part is you can do this anywhere, anytime.
Oh, yeah?
You know, waiting in line, stuck in traffic, even in the middle of a stressful meeting, you can just take a few moments to do this.
Just hit that pause button.
Exactly. And if you can make deep breathing like a regular practice,
Yeah.
it can be a game changer for your stress levels.
Love it.
Okay, next up is another one that seems pretty straightforward, physical activity.
Physical activity.
But I have to admit, when I'm stressed, exercise is usually the last thing on my mind.
Oh, yeah, me too. 100%.
You know, I just want to like curl up and watch TV or something.
Yeah, just like shut down completely.
Exactly. But I've heard that it can really make a difference.
Yeah, you don't have to be training for a marathon to reap the benefits.
Okay, so we don't have to be like super intense about it.
No.
Not at all.
Okay, so what are we talking about? What kind of movement?
Just moving your body in a way that feels good for you.
Okay, so those feel-good endorphins that everybody talks about, those are actually a real thing.
They are real.
They are real.
Okay.
Yeah, exercise triggers the release of endorphins, which are like natural mood boosters and pain relievers.
Okay.
And at the same time, it helps lower those stress hormones, cortisol and adrenaline.
Okay, that makes sense. So what kind of exercise are we talking about? Do I need to hit the gym every day?
Not necessarily. You have
Okay.
so many options: walking, dancing, swimming, yoga, gardening, anything that gets you moving and your heart rate up, even for like short bursts throughout the day.
I love that you mentioned gardening because it brings us to a technique that has a similar vibe, and that is spending time in nature.
Oh, yes.
There's something about being outdoors that just seems to melt away the stress.
It's not just in your head.
Okay.
Studies have shown that being in nature has a calming effect on the nervous system.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah. Surrounding yourself with greenery, fresh air, natural light, it can significantly lower your cortisol levels and even improve your focus.
So it's not just about getting away from our screens, it's about actively connecting with a different environment.
100%.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be a big expedition.
Right.
Even a short walk in your local park or tending to a few plants on your balcony can make a difference.
Okay, now this next technique might seem a little more intimidating to some mindfulness meditation.
Oh, meditation.
Yeah, I'll admit, I used to think meditation was just for like, you know, monks and gurus.
Right, for like the super spiritual people.
Yeah, exactly. But I've heard it can be really helpful for stress.
It's often misunderstood.
Okay.
It's not about emptying your mind completely or achieving some sort of transcendental state.
Okay.
It's simply about training your attention to be present in the moment without judgment.
Okay. I'm intrigued, but honestly, I have a hard time sitting still and clearing my mind. Like my thoughts are constantly racing.
That's perfectly normal.
Okay, good.
Yeah. The key is to notice those thoughts without getting carried away by them.
Okay.
Imagine your thoughts are like clouds passing by.
Okay.
You observe them, but you don't engage with them.
Okay, I think I can get behind that. So can you give me like a really simple way to start practicing?
Absolutely. Find a quiet spot, close your eyes, and focus on your breath.
Okay.
As you inhale and exhale, notice the sensations of your breath entering and leaving your body.
Mm-hmm.
And when your mind wanders gently, guide it back to your breath.
That's it. It sounds almost too simple to be effective.
But here's where it gets really interesting. Studies have shown that even a few minutes of daily meditation can significantly reduce stress, improve emotional regulation, and even help with anxiety and depression.
Wow. I'm adding meditation to my to-do list right now.
Yes.
Speaking of to-do list, let's talk about something that is essential for both productivity and stress management. Sleep.
Sleep.
I know I don't function well when I'm sleep deprived.
Oh my gosh, same.
But I didn't realize the connection to stress was so strong.
It is.
It is okay.
Sleep is absolutely critical for managing stress when you're sleep deprived. Your body produces more cortisol, making you more reactive to even minor stressors.
Oh, so it's like a vicious cycle. We're stressed so we don't sleep well, which makes us more stressed.
Exactly.
Right.
And chronic sleep deprivation can have a cascade of negative effects on your health, increasing your risk of everything from anxiety and depression to heart disease and weakened immunity.
Wow. Okay, I'm convinced I need to prioritize sleep.
Yes.
But sometimes even when I want to sleep, I just can't seem to switch off.
But that's where good sleep hygiene comes in.
Okay, sleep hygiene.
Yeah, try to establish a consistent sleep schedule even on weekends to regulate your body's natural sleep-wake cycle.
That makes sense. But with our busy schedules and late-night distractions, that can be tough.
Absolutely. There's some practical things you can do to improve your sleep hygiene, like avoiding caffeine and alcohol before bed.
Okay.
Create a relaxing bedtime routine like a warm bath or reading a book.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure your bedroom is cool, dark, and quiet.
Yes.
And most importantly,
Put the phone away.
yes,
They know I'm guilty of scrolling through social media right before bed.
that blue light from our screens can interfere with melatonin production, which is a hormone that helps regulate sleep. So try to avoid screens for at least an hour before bed, or consider using blue light blocking glasses.
Okay, all right. I'm making a pact with myself right now to prioritize quality sleep.
Love it.
Now let's move on to something that can instantly shift our mood: music.
Music?
I always have a playlist for every occasion, and certain songs can definitely melt away my stress in minutes.
It's so powerful.
Yeah, so not just any music will do the trick.
All right, think calming genres like classical music, nature sounds, and instrumental music with a slow tempo. And then there are binaural beats.
Binaural beats, I've heard of them, but I'm not exactly sure how they work.
They're fascinating, really.
Okay.
They're auditory illusions created by playing slightly different frequencies in each ear. And your brain processes this difference, and it can induce a state of deep relaxation, almost like a shortcut to meditation.
So it's like tricking our brains into feeling calm.
In a way, yes, but it's not just a trick.
Okay.
Studies have shown that listening to binaural beats can lower heart rate and blood pressure and even reduce anxiety symptoms.
Wow. Well, I'm definitely going to explore binaural beats.
Yes.
But before I drift off to sleep, let's talk about aromatherapy.
Oh, yes.
I love using essential oils to create like a calming atmosphere at home. But I've always wondered if there's any real science behind it.
There is.
Okay.
There's actually a growing body of research that shows certain essential oils can have a real impact on stress and anxiety.
Like lavender, for instance. I find it incredibly soothing.
Lavender is a popular choice for a reason. It contains a compound called linalool, which has been shown to have sedative and anxiety-reducing properties.
So it's not just about a pleasant scent. There's like a real physiological effect happening.
Exactly. And there are other great options too, like chamomile, bergamot, and frankincense.
Oh, yeah.
You can use them in a diffuser, add a few drops to a warm bath, or even dilute them in a carrier oil and apply them to your pulse points.
It's amazing how these simple scents can have such a profound impact on our mood.
I know, right?
Okay, now let's talk about something that can either fuel our stress or help us manage it: food.
Food.
I know I reach for sugary snacks when I'm feeling overwhelmed, but I always regret it later.
You're not alone.
Okay, good.
Yeah, many of us turn to comfort foods when we're stressed, but those sugary treats and caffeinated drinks can actually make things worse.
Why is that? I thought sugar gave you energy.
It does, but it's a quick burst followed by a crash, which can lead to mood swings and irritability, the last things you need when you're already stressed.
Right.
Caffeine is even worse because it triggers the release of adrenaline and cortisol,
Right.
putting your body on high alert.
So I'm basically adding fuel to the fire when I reach for that afternoon candy bar or extra cup of coffee.
Essentially, yes. Instead, focus on whole foods rich in fiber and protein, which provide sustained energy and help stabilize your blood sugar levels.
Okay, what about my morning coffee? I can't function without it.
I understand if you can't give it up entirely. Try limiting your intake to the mornings and make sure you're staying hydrated with plenty of water throughout the day.
So it's all about making mindful choices that support our well-being rather than sabotaging it.
Exactly. By understanding how our food choices impact our mood and energy levels, we can make positive changes that contribute to a more balanced and less stressful life.
Now let's talk about a technique that might surprise you, gratitude.
Gratitude.
I know it sounds a bit cliche,
Yeah.
but I found that focusing on what I'm grateful for can really shift my perspective when I'm feeling stressed.
It's more than just a feel-good emotion.
Right.
Gratitude is a powerful tool for rewiring our brains to focus on the positive aspects of our lives rather than dwelling on the negative.
So it's not about ignoring our problems, it's about choosing to focus on the good, even when things are tough.
Precisely when you practice gratitude, you shift your attention away from stressors and cultivate a sense of appreciation for what you have, no matter how small.
Okay, but how do you actually practice gratitude? It's not like I can just snap my fingers and suddenly feel grateful for everything.
You're right. It's a practice and it takes effort. One simple way to start is to keep a gratitude journal.
Okay, a gratitude journal.
Yeah, each day, write down 3 things you're grateful for, no matter how big or small it could be. A warm cup of coffee, a beautiful sunset, a kind gesture from a stranger, anything that brings a smile to your face.
What if you're struggling to find things to be grateful for? Sometimes it feels like there's just too much negativity swirling around.
That's okay. Start small, focus on the basic necessities of life. Having a roof over your head, food on the table, people who care about you as you cultivate the habit of gratitude. You'll find it becomes easier to notice and appreciate the good things, even amidst the challenges.
This is making me realize I need to be more intentional about expressing gratitude. I think we often take the good things in our lives for granted.
You're absolutely right. Another powerful way to practice gratitude is to express appreciation to others. Tell your loved ones how much you appreciate them. Write thank you notes, or simply acknowledge the kindness of strangers.
It's amazing how these small acts of gratitude can make such a big difference in both our own well-being and the well-being of others.
Exactly. And remember, gratitude is a muscle that needs to be exercised regularly.
Yeah.
The more we practice it, the more natural it becomes, and the greater the benefits we reap.
All right, let's talk about one final technique before we wrap up this part of our deep dive social connection.
Social connection.
I'm a firm believer that spending time with loved ones is essential for my mental health.
Me too.
But I'm curious about the science behind it.
Humans are social creatures, wired for connection.
Okay.
Yeah, social support is crucial for our well-being, especially during times of stress.
Why is that? I mean, we all know that spending time with friends and family makes us feel good, but what's actually happening in our brains?
When we feel connected to others, we feel supported, understood, and less alone in our struggles. And this releases oxytocin.
Oxytocin.
Yes,
Oh.
which is a hormone that promotes feelings of love, bonding, and trust.
So it's like a natural antidote to stress.
Exactly. Oxytocin actually counteracts the effects of cortisol, reducing stress and anxiety, and social connection doesn't have to be limited to close friends and family.
Oh, okay.
It can also come from joining community groups, volunteering, or even just striking up a conversation with someone new.
I like that. So what about those times when we're feeling overwhelmed and don't feel like socializing?
It's important to listen to your needs and respect your boundaries.
Okay.
However, completely isolating yourself can actually worsen stress and anxiety in the long run.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So even if you don't feel up to a big social gathering, try reaching out to a trusted friend or family member for a phone call or a quick chat sometimes. Just knowing that someone cares and is there for you can make all the difference.
This has been such an insightful exploration of natural stress reduction techniques. We've covered so much ground already. From the power of deep breathing and physical activity to the importance of sleep music, aromatherapy, mindful eating, gratitude, and social connection.
And this is just a handful of the techniques out there.
Yeah, we've got plenty more to cover, so stay tuned for part 2 of our deep dive, where we'll explore even more strategies for managing stress and creating a more balanced and fulfilling life.
I'm excited. I love it.
Me too. This is great stuff.
Welcome back to our deep dive into natural stress reduction techniques.
We've already uncovered so many practical strategies, but I'm ready for more.
And we've got plenty more to explore in the last segment. We talked about the importance of social connection, but sometimes even with a strong support system, we need a little extra help.
Oh, that makes sense. So when does it make sense to seek out professional help, like a therapist or counselor, specifically for stress management?
If you're feeling overwhelmed, like stress is interfering with your daily life, your relationships, or your work, that's a good indication that professional guidance could be beneficial.
So it's not a sign of weakness to ask for help?
Not at all. It's actually a sign of strength and self-awareness.
Okay, good to know. Reaching out for support is definitely something to consider. Now let's shift gears a bit and talk about a technique that I find incredibly powerful: positive thinking.
I love that one.
Yeah, positive thinking is often dismissed as overly simplistic, but research actually shows it can have a huge impact on our mental health.
It really can.
Yeah, I've heard that before, but I've always wondered how it actually works. Is it just about putting on a happy face and ignoring our problems?
It's not about denying reality. It's about consciously choosing to focus on the good, even when things are tough.
Okay, but how do you actually train your brain to think more positively? Feels like my negative thoughts have a mind of their own sometimes.
It takes practice, but there are some effective techniques you can try. One is to challenge those negative thoughts. When you notice yourself spiraling into negativity, ask yourself, is this thought realistic? Is it helpful?
So it's like fact-checking your own thoughts.
Exactly. And if those thoughts aren't serving you, try reframing them in a more positive light.
I like that. So instead of saying, I'm so stressed I can't handle this, I could say this is a challenging situation, but I'm going to figure it out.
Exactly.
Okay.
Another powerful technique is to surround yourself with positive influences. People who lift you up, inspiring books, motivational podcasts, anything that feeds your soul.
It's about creating a positive environment that supports your well-being.
Yes. And remember, positive thinking doesn't mean denying or suppressing negative emotions. It's about acknowledging those emotions, but choosing to focus on the positive aspects of your life.
This brings us back to gratitude, which we touched on earlier. I'm starting to see how these techniques are all interconnected.
They absolutely are. Gratitude is a powerful antidote to stress. When you focus on what you're grateful for, it shifts your perspective and helps you appreciate the good things in your life, even when things are tough.
We talked about keeping a gratitude journal, but are there other ways to cultivate gratitude?
Definitely. One powerful way is to express appreciation to others. Tell your loved ones how much they mean to you. Write thank you notes, or simply acknowledge the kindness of strangers. These acts of gratitude not only benefit the recipient, but also boost your own happiness and well-being.
These are such simple yet profound acts of kindness that can make a real difference in both our own lives and the lives of those around us.
Exactly. And remember, gratitude is a muscle that needs to be exercised regularly. The more you practice it, the more natural it becomes, and the greater the benefits you'll experience.
Okay, let's shift gears now and talk about a technique that's often seen as a productivity tool, but is also a powerful stress management technique: time management.
Oh, yeah.
Time management.
Love that one.
Yeah, it's all about feeling in control of your schedule rather than feeling controlled by it.
Right, like not being a slave to the clock.
Exactly, because when I feel overwhelmed by my to-do list and constantly behind schedule, it definitely adds to my stress levels.
When we feel that sense of urgency and pressure, it can lead to chronic stress. And procrastination is a common response to feeling overwhelmed.
Procrastination.
Yeah, we put things off because they feel too big or daunting, but that just makes the stress worse in the long run.
I'm definitely guilty of that. So how do we break free from the procrastination trap and manage our time more effectively?
It starts with planning and prioritizing. Take some time each week to plan out your schedule and identify your most important tasks, which ones absolutely need to get done and which ones can wait.
So it's about being proactive rather than reactive.
Exactly. And once you've identified your priorities, break down large tasks into smaller, more manageable chunks.
That's a great tip. Smaller steps feel much less overwhelming.
Right. And another key to effective time management is learning to say no.
Oof, that's a tough one for me. I always feel obligated to say yes to everything, even when I'm already stretched thin.
It's important to set boundaries and protect your time if you're constantly saying yes to everyone else's demands. you'll never have time for the things that are truly important to you.
That's such a good point. So it's about being selective and prioritizing what matters most.
And remember, time management is a skill that takes practice. Don't get discouraged if you don't get it right away. Just keep experimenting with different techniques and strategies until you find what works best for you.
This has been so eye-opening. I'm starting to see that being more intentional with my time isn't just about productivity, it's about protecting my well-being.
Exactly. Time is your most valuable resource, and how you choose to spend it has a profound impact on your stress levels and your overall quality of life.
Welcome back to the deep dive. We are wrapping up our exploration of natural stress reduction techniques, and I'm excited to see what other gems we uncover.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of ground, but there are still some fascinating techniques to explore. These last few strategies, they kind of tap into our body's innate ability to heal and find balance.
Okay, I'm all ears. What's next on our stress-busting agenda?
Let's talk about the power of touch.
Okay.
I'm talking about massage, acupressure, and even something as simple as a warm hug.
I'm intrigued. I know a good massage can do wonders when my muscles are tense, but I'm curious about the science behind it.
Well, when we experience touch, our bodies release oxytocin.
Oxytocin.
Yes, sometimes called the cuddle hormone or the love hormone, because it promotes relaxation, bonding, and trust.
So it's not just about relieving muscle tension, it's about triggering a physiological response that calms the nervous system.
Exactly. Studies have shown that massage can lower cortisol levels, reduce anxiety, and even improve sleep quality.
I'm starting to see a theme here. So many of these techniques tap into our body's natural ability to regulate stress and find balance. It's like we have this inner pharmacy just waiting to be accessed.
That's a great way to put it. We have an incredible capacity for self-healing. And these techniques are like keys that unlock that potential.
Now, you mentioned acupressure. I've heard of acupuncture, but I'm not as familiar with acupressure. How does it work?
Acupressure is based on the principles of traditional Chinese medicine. It involves applying pressure to specific points on the body to stimulate energy flow and promote relaxation. It's like a targeted massage that works with the body's energy meridians.
I've heard that acupuncture can be really effective for pain relief, but I didn't realize it could also help with stress.
There's growing evidence to suggest that acupressure can be helpful for a variety of conditions, including stress, anxiety, and even pain. It's a gentle, non-invasive technique that can be incredibly effective.
I'm definitely adding acupressure to my list of things to try. Now, you also mentioned hugs. I have to admit, I was a little skeptical about this one at
I
first.
get it. It seems so simple, but hugs, they actually release oxytocin, just like massage. And they also provide a sense of social support and connection, which we know is crucial for stress management.
So a hug is like a double dose of stress relief.
Exactly. It's a powerful combination of physical touch and emotional support.
I'm never going to underestimate the power of a good hug again. It seems like we've come full circle back to the importance of human connection.
Our relationships play such a vital role in our overall well-being. Feeling connected to others gives us a sense of belonging, purpose, and support, which are all essential for managing stress and living a fulfilling life.
Okay, let's move on to our next technique. This one's a bit different, spending time with animals. I'm a huge animal lover, so I'm biased, but I swear just being around animals melts away my stress.
I think we all instinctively know that pets can bring us joy and comfort. But there's actually a lot of research to back this up.
Really? So cuddling with my cat isn't just a guilty pleasure, it's actually good for my health.
Absolutely. Studies have shown that interacting with animals can lower blood pressure, reduce cortisol levels, and even boost our mood pictures. Pets can provide companionship, unconditional love, and a sense of purpose, all of which contribute to a sense of well-being.
And it's not just limited to cats and dogs, right?
Right? Spending time in nature, observing birds, or even visiting a zoo or an aquarium can have similar benefits. Connecting with the animal world can be incredibly grounding and calming.
I love that you mentioned spending time in nature. We talked about that earlier, but it's worth reiterating. There's something about being in nature that just feels so restorative.
Nature is an incredible source of healing and rejuvenation. It's like hitting the reset button on our nervous systems. The fresh air, the sunlight, the sounds of nature, they all work together to calm our minds and restore a sense of balance.
Okay, let's move on to our final technique for today's deep dive, creating a stress-free environment. This one feels especially relevant right now as we're spending so much time at home.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Creating a haven of peace and tranquility in your home can make a world of difference in your stress levels. It's about transforming your space into a sanctuary that supports your well-being.
That sounds lovely, but where do we even begin?
Start by decluttering.
Declutter.
Yeah. Clutter creates a sense of chaos and overwhelm, which can contribute to stress. Go through your belongings and get rid of anything you don't use, need, or love. You can donate items, sell them, or simply toss them if they're no longer serving you.
I know, I need to work on this one. I tend to let clutter pile up, and it definitely weighs on me once you've decluttered what's next.
Focus on creating a soothing atmosphere. Use calming colors, soft lighting, and natural elements, like plants bring in textures that feel good to the touch, like soft blankets and cozy pillows create a space that feels inviting and relaxing.
What about scents? We talked about aromatherapy earlier. Can we incorporate that into our environment as well?
Absolutely. Use essential oils in a diffuser or light-scented candles to create a calming and inviting aroma. Lavender, chamomile, and sandalwood are all great choices for promoting relaxation.
And what about sound?
Create a playlist of relaxing music or nature sounds. You can find tons of great options online, or simply enjoy the silence sometimes. Just turning off all the noise and allowing yourself to be present in the quiet can be incredibly restorative.
This is making me realize how important it is to be mindful of my surroundings. Our environment can have a huge impact on our mood and stress levels. It's about creating a space that supports our well-being rather than depleting it.
Exactly. By creating a stress-free environment, we're setting ourselves up for success in managing stress and living a more balanced and fulfilling life.
This has been such an incredible deep dive into natural stress reduction techniques. We've covered so much ground, from deep breathing and exercise to mindfulness, gratitude, social connection, and creating a calming environment. I feel like I have a whole toolkit of strategies now.
Yeah, and the best part is there's something for everyone. Not every technique will resonate with every person. The key is to experiment and find what works best for you, what brings you joy, what helps you feel calm and centered.
That's such a good point. It's about creating a personalized stress management plan that fits your unique needs and preferences.
And remember, stress is a part of life, but it doesn't have to control you. By incorporating these natural techniques into your daily routine, you can manage stress effectively and create a more balanced, joyful, and fulfilling life. It's about taking back your power and becoming the architect of your own well-being.
This deep dive has been so empowering. I feel like I have a renewed sense of hope and a belief that I can manage my stress and create a more peaceful life.
That's wonderful to hear. Remember, you have everything you need within you to live a calmer, a more fulfilling life.
Yeah.
Trust yourself, be patient with yourself, and enjoy the journey.
Thank you for joining us on this journey of exploration and discovery. We hope this deep dive has given you the knowledge and inspiration to take control of your stress and well-being.
Until next time, take care, be well, and remember to breathe.